a bit of a continuation on the discussion of what to do with the secondary hand when digging for a heel hook, right? So it's either gonna be a handbrake, aka KDG1 when in a cross ashi, or KDG3 when in a straight ashi, or it should be grabbing the heel to help you dig for it. Now, what I'm experimenting with right now is because whenever I go for a reverse figure 4 grip, it always slips, right? And that's a problem. And I should address it, right? And I will in the future, right? Because right now I do think using the reverse figure 4 is a bit of a crutch because I don't really have the braking mechanics down yet. So now, I will be using the secondary hand as a handbrake or to catch the heel, but I'll only be doing the normal heel hook grip, right? So I'll be doing the heel hook, then butterfly grip, and the secondary arm cups the heel, right? So I grab the secondary arm, I dig for the heel hook grip, I get butterfly, and then with the secondary arm that was cupping the heel, it's gonna be butterfly, it's gonna go over the top, and it's still gonna grab the heel. And I'm gonna be finishing from that position, from a straight or from a cross ashi. And in the future, when I'm a bit more, when I'm better with my braking mechanics, I will have to re-implement the reverse figure 4 because it's very useful and I'm gonna have to play with it. But right now, I think I'm relying on it a bit too much. Plus, it is slipping most of the time. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to be a bit more precise with it. But in the future, right now, I'll be staying away from it. Right, so adding on to that a bit, I think I used the terminology a bit wrongly. So KDG1 from any cross ashi is going to be the handbrake because they're going to prevent the opponent from rotating out. Plus, it's going to help you put the opponent's leg into halt 2 and expose their heel, right? So it basically does two actions. It's a handbrake and it helps expose the heel. Plus invert through, right? But for straight ashis, like I said, KDG3 is going to help you expose the heel, but it's not going to be a handbrake, right? If the opponent's spinning and you're using KDG3, you're basically helping them spin, right? Because you're pulling them into the same direction. So with the straight ashi, it's going to be different grips, right? Because you need your primary hand to attack the heel hook, so you have your secondary hand. So it's going to be either KDG3 to expose the heel if the opponent's standing still or in a double seated situation, or it's going to be KDG2 on the inside of the knee, right? So it's not gonna, you can still pull with it, like with KDG3 to expose the heel, but it's much more, it is gonna be a handbrake in that sort of sense, because you can prevent the opponent from, not really prevent, but you can slow down their spin. And if you are gonna be inverting through, like Oliver Taza, he really does it when you're getting smashed from outside ashi, but if you are doing that outside ashi, you should probably, if the opponent's spinning aggressively, you should probably use KDG2 to hold the inside of their knee and a bit slow down their spin, so it's going to be easier to catch the heel. Or if they are not spinning at all, we're going to have to use KDG3 to make them go into hall 1 to expose their heel. And another use for basically KDG4 for cross ashis and KDG2 for straight ashis is, when you're in a backside position, I consider when you reap, when you're in an inside ashi and the opponent's turned away from you, I consider that to be a backside position. So it's a backside inside ashi, and outside ashi when the other try to spin and they're not unsuccessful, or when you break them down with the KDG3. I consider that a backside outside ashi or inside ashi, but it's much easier with the cross ashi because you just invert through, right? And that's the inverted position. But the backside position rather. But what you can do to prevent audio is gonna be bad. Right, should be better now. So what you can do to, when you're in the backside position, to prevent the knee line, prevent the opponent from escaping the knee line, so I'm gonna start with with straight ashis because I think it's easiest. So when you're going for a reap or you're in an inside ashi, like I do have to talk about that as well because every inside ashi has a reap, right? But not every reap is an inside ashi. Because for an inside ashi you need to lock inside, right? But you can reap even when the reap leg is outside, when the reap leg is inside, but the secondary leg is outside, right? So that would be a far hip ashi, I think. Or neutral ashi, I'm not sure. But yeah, a little side tangent over how you can use grips. So basically, if you are reaping through and your opponent's on their knee, I would consider the backside reap, right? Before they backstep and take you back. If you can retain their knee line, so what you need to do is you need to, well, shout out actually Josh Saunders, the big Australian fella, and Robert Deagle. Robert Deagle does this from cross ashi, and I picked up from Josh Saunders doing this on inside ashi, right? But what he does is basically he extends both legs. So instead of going knees to chest, which is pretty stupid to be honest, from a reap, like you're just shorting your knee line. You want to extend your legs, both of them, so that your knee line is farther away and it's harder to slip. And plus, with your free hand, the non-heel hooking hand, you will take a KDG2 grip. So that's from an outside ashi or from a reap. You're gonna take an inside grip underneath with a KDG2, right? So you shouldn't really be doing that with the opposite hand because that's one that you need for heel hooks. And also for backside, when I'm gonna be talking about cross ashi, you need your primary hand to get the heel hook grip. But finishing from backside, it's gonna be pretty tough. Like the opponent can basically backstab at any moment. So to avoid you losing the knee line for straight ashis, KDG2, and you're gonna be pulling in, right, the knee. So your one hand would be the heel hooking one, and the secondary would be getting a KDG2 grip. You can do this from outside ashi and from a reap, right? So you're just holding plus pulling the opponent's knee towards you so that it doesn't slip out from your knee line. And I'm going into a subway, so I need to make this fast. So you can basically do the same thing when you're in a cross ashi, right? Because so you're going to be using the KDG4 grip, and now I'm actually rethinking if it was wrong for Lachlan to take that grip against Cade, right? Because it does make it slower for you to connect your hands when you're in backside, so it will be tougher to finish in backside. But he was actually utilizing a KDG4 grip on Cade after he inverted to backside 50-50. So Cade did not slip his knee line, right? The problem was that he backstepped and then he swapped the hands. So it doesn't prevent that, obviously, but if Cade tried to like run away, which I mean, it's not a very good, it's not a very good solution when you're in a backside cross ashi or in a backside 50-50, right? But all right, so I'm gonna be saying backside saddle is gonna be backside saddle. Backside cross ashi is gonna be both 50-50 and cross ashi, right? Saddle. So it's not a very good idea, but you can use like the same thing like I said, but instead of a KDG2 grip, you would be using your secondary hand, which isn't the heel hooking one. You get a KDG4 grip on the opponent's knee and pull it in, and pull it in and don't let them slip it, right? So when you're finishing, you can, like, most likely the opponent's gonna backstep, and then you don't lose their knee line, and then you switch for heel hook grip. But if you, so that makes the inside spin with the KDG4 grip actually makes sense, right? Because it's going to be harder to spaz out from it. But if you would be going for a backside finish, it's probably better to still go with the KDG1 grip because it's easier to and faster to switch the grips from the grip, right? When you're inverting to actually the heel hook grip, right? When you're going inverted. So yeah, experiment with both of them. KDG2 for backside straight ashis and KDG4 for backside cross ashis to avoid losing the knee line. I mean, well, to avoid the opponent slipping their knee from your knee line, right? It's fucking hard to say that shit.